In between winning NBA championships, Steph Curry dealt with a near-death accident, a life-changing separation, and a friend's death. He may be one of the best basketball players in history, but he's endured more than his fair share of tragedy. Believe it or not, there was a time when almost no team wanted Steph Curry on its roster. Coming out of Charlotte Christian High School in North Carolina, Curry was pegged as just a 3-star recruit. His 6'1", 160-pound frame was considered too small for elite college programs. Nicknamed the baby-faced assassin, he also looked much too young for his age. Curry wanted to take after his father, former NBA standout Del Curry, and attend his alma mater of Virginia Tech. The school was willing to take Steph as a walk-on, meaning that he would have to sit out his first year. But the younger Curry knew that he could immediately prove his worth. The one school that took a chance on Curry was Davidson College in North Carolina, which at the time played in the Southern Conference. The school's faith in Curry paid off, as he led the nation's freshman class in scoring. The following year, he took his underdog team to the NCAA tournament's regional final and elevated the school's basketball program as a whole. After he left Davidson following his junior year, the Golden State Warriors drafted him as the 7th overall pick in the 2009 NBA Draft. Steph Curry was a member of the United States 2010 FIBA World Championship team, but he didn't make the Olympic roster 2 years later, a slight that he called disappointing. Then, in 2016, he bowed out of Olympics consideration again due to an MCL sprain, as he chose to instead prioritize prepping for the upcoming NBA season. Since then, Curry still hasn't made any Olympics appearances. He turned down the opportunity to play in the 2020 Tokyo Games, which were actually held in 2021, after being delayed because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And after the Warriors' 2022 NBA Finals win, head coach Steve Kerr joked that Curry lacked only an Olympic medal to put him on par with the greats. During the Warriors' championship parade celebration that year, Curry announced his intention to join his coach at the 2024 Paris Olympics, a declaration seen as a tongue-in-cheek response to Kerr's ribbing.
I got to go play for Coach Kerr in 24 in Paris and try to. That wasn't I'm gonna do it.
Throughout his basketball career, Curry has enjoyed the heartwarming knowledge that his parents were sitting in the stands together and cheering him on. Del and Sonia Curry have been a fixture at Warriors games, as the TV cameras have shown Del cheering and wearing a souvenir version of his son's jersey. But that era sadly came to a close with their separation in 2021. In an interview with The Ringer, Steph admitted that it was challenging to see his parents' 33-year marriage end. But ultimately, Steph managed to keep his cool about the situation. That graceful approach was witnessed by millions on December 14, 2021. That was when he broke NBA legend Ray Allen's record to become the all-time leader in regular season three-pointers. His parents were in the house at Madison Square Garden that day to witness the historic achievement, but as fans at home noticed, his parents were seated separately. Nevertheless, Steph embraced the moment and made sure to celebrate with each of his parents. After hugging his father near the team bench, he chased his mom into one of the stadium's tunnels to embrace her as well. On November 23, 2018, Steph Curry was in a harrowing accident involving 3 vehicles. On that rainy day, a driver lost control of his car and slammed into Curry's black Porsche, detaching the front bumper. Curry parked by a median and waited for police to arrive. But alas, another car rear-ended the Porsche just 10 minutes later. Thankfully, no one was injured, and Curry updated his fans via Twitter to assure them that he was doing okay. He surely considered himself very fortunate, as the crash footage obtained by TMZ looked particularly scary. Curry was due to report to the Warriors facility later that day, though he'd been dealing with a groin injury and wasn't slated to play. Steve Kerr later joked to reporters that Curry wouldn't miss the Porsche since he probably has more, as he noted that his star guard was a bit shaken up, but doing well.
I think he has another car that he can drive too. It's going to be okay.
Steph Curry has had a long, troubled history with his right ankle. It's been causing him issues since at least 2010. In a game against the San Antonio Spurs, his ankle rolled, even though he wasn't in contact with anyone on the floor. That led to nagging problems for the rest of the 2010 to 2011 season and forced him to have surgery. The following season, Curry suffered an ankle sprain that made him miss about 2 weeks and undergo another operation. Then in 2013, he had to sit out several more games due to ankle rollings. His injuries started evolving into a genuine threat to his career. During his third NBA season, he managed to play just 26 games, and the $44 million contract he signed afterward was negotiated with the hope that his ankle wouldn't be a problem in the future. Warriors general manager Bob Myers was struck by the oddly simple ways by which Curry's ankle was sprained, while others have joked that his ankles must be made of glass. Curry eventually began training differently in order to take weight off his ankles, which has thus far proven to be mostly successful, though he hasn't been completely injury-free since then. In 2016, he missed a few playoff games due to his ankle, and in March 2022, he sprained a ligament in his left foot. Steph Curry's wife, Ayesha, has been subjected to her fair share of online bullying, and her husband has made sure to step in and defend her on more than one occasion. In 2019, she appeared alongside other women of the Curry family on an episode of Red Table Talk, where she discussed her marriage. While the ladies talked about the issue of unwanted female attention toward their husbands, Ayesha admitted that she had found it difficult that she received no male attention herself. Female admirers of Steph were an uncomfortable topic, but Ayesha admitted that she would find that situation more tolerable if she had her own admirers. It was a vulnerable moment that perhaps some insecure mothers could relate to, but it also prompted criticism, with some people on the internet calling out her desire for attention as selfish. Ayesha responded on Instagram by standing by what she said, and Steph posted some words of support on an Instagram story while taking a shot at her critics. More bullying came Ayesha's way when she posted a clip of herself and Steph on Instagram in October 2020. The video featured Ayesha with blonde hair and her face looking slightly different than usual. She confirmed in the comments that she had used a filter. Some disparaging comments accused her of trying to appear as a white woman. But some of her followers, including her husband, showed their support by encouraging her to just ignore the haters.
I'm just a happier person that way.
In April 2019, rapper Nipsey Hussle was killed at the age of 33 in a shooting in Los Angeles. A year earlier, he'd stopped by Steph Curry's YouTube show, 5 Minutes from Home. They shared an intimate conversation about fatherhood, Hussle's creative process, entrepreneurship, and misogyny in rap culture, as they cruised in a car and grabbed a bite to eat. A particularly heartfelt moment happened when Hussle acknowledged that becoming a father was the best decision he'd ever made. He added that it was important for him to share his passion for music with his kids so that they would be inspired to pursue whatever they wanted in life. Upon Hussle's passing, Curry revealed his death cut short the efforts that the rapper was making within his community. He also posted a tribute to Hussle on Instagram. Then, in 2021, Curry released an episode of his podcast, 15 Minutes from Home, that was dedicated to Hussle. It featured a never-before-heard conversation with the rapper that had originally been recorded for the YouTube show, in which Hussle discussed his long road to success as an artist and compared his journey to Curry's.
I never want to be a hypocrite with my kids and be somebody that preaches it but don't live it.
During the 2021 to 2022 NBA season, Curry suffered through a drastic shooting slump that was among the worst stretches of his career. From November to January, he made only 36.7% of his shots. After a 2-game stint against the Dallas Mavericks and Miami Heat, where he made only 8 out of the 41 field goals, he downplayed his struggles to reporters and said that he wasn't trying to overreact. But the numbers didn't lie, and even Steve Kerr had to chime in, blaming it on exhaustion, and then later expressing faith that Curry would overcome it. At one point, it seemed that Curry was briefly able to locate the source of his troubles and was about to revert to his old form. Thanks to this sudden epiphany, he realized that the way he planted his feet was the problem, so he quickly improved his technique. But his struggles returned just days later. Despite this difficult stretch, Curry stayed in the hunt for the league's MVP title, and the Warriors ultimately went on to win the championship that season. Steph Curry has admitted that he considers NBA legend Michael Jordan as one of his role models. He watched the 2020 ESPN docuseries, The Last Dance, and admired how Jordan wouldn't ask his teammates and those around him to do anything he himself couldn't do. In an August 2021 interview, Curry said that he's tried to emulate this leadership approach in his own career. As perhaps the most famous NBA player of all time, Jordan's words understandably carry a lot of weight with fans and players, so it was tough for Curry to learn that Jordan didn't exactly think of him as a Hall of Famer. In a 2019 interview on Today, Jordan listed players who'd be on the roster of his ideal pickup game, and Curry was notably absent. Although Jordan called Curry a great player and insisted that he shouldn't be offended that he was left off this imaginary team, he also said that Curry didn't have what it takes to be in the Hall of Fame. At least not yet. Jordan did at least leave open the possibility that Curry would eventually get there. Curry, ever confident in his own abilities, ultimately waved off Jordan's comments. He even said that he wondered if Jordan misspoke, adding that if Jordan had been asked about Curry's talents years later, his answer would have been significantly different. The issue was finally settled in 2021. When Curry spoke with Jordan at the Ryder Cup golf tournament, Curry later told The Athletic that Jordan called him a clear first ballot Hall of Famer.
It's nice to connect on that level.
Anytime.
There's one particular critique of Steph Curry that cuts at the heart of his legacy, which is the claim that his style of play has ruined basketball. Curry has built his career on his ability for long-distance shooting, and he's considered one of the greatest, if not the greatest, from beyond the arc. In December 2021, he broke the NBA's three-point record by hitting from deep for the 2,977th time. But that only further frustrated some critics. Curry has weaponized long-range shooting in a way that no one has before him, but he's still committed to the other fundamentals of the game. He's also reluctant to dunk, which is the bread and butter for some NBA greats. Most of the criticism comes down to an accusation of bad role modeling, as younger athletes are taking wilder shots, believing that they can get away with it. But not everyone is Steph Curry. Even his former Warriors coach Mark Jackson has said that Curry has hurt basketball. Jackson lamented the fact that kids in high school have started to prioritize three-pointers over a more well-rounded skill set, even though Curry is quite well-rounded himself. In 2022, Curry told The Athletic that he's put in years of work to establish his style, and he urged younger players to respect the process. But Curry, ever the good sport, has ultimately been nonchalant about the criticism. Also in 2022, he told Los Angeles Magazine that bad blood was inevitable, especially for someone who's upended the game the way that he has.